So we are talking about AI, and there are two parts to AI. One is the front end, like the flashy front end, like ChatGPT. Everybody talks about it, and then there is a kind of the boring, dull side to AI, where you capture data, you store data, you process data, and for that you need some tools, some technologies, some platform infrastructure. So I'm going to focus mostly on some of the tools and technologies that NetApp provides to enable AI. So I'm going to talk about like platform engineering with open source context. Okay, so that'll be the theme of the today's talk. So let me begin. Okay. Yes. I know this is not a 100% interactive session, but I'll just quickly start with a small quiz just to kind of generate some interest. Then I'll talk about what is platform engineering. We'll talk about what is open source. Then I'll bring those things together and kind of discuss our NetApp approach. And this is how we enable a lot of companies kind of start their AI journey or enable their AI journey. And then I will talk about InstaCluster, which is the startup company I used to work for. That was the open source startup company I used to work for that was acquired by NetApp, and the reason why NetApp acquired it and how it kind of takes the NetApp story forward. And if we have time, we'll have a short Q&A. So let me start with the quiz. So software developed by community with no licensing cost. I think I said open source, so it should be open source. You might have heard a term referred to while using your proprietary system called when forced to continue using a product or service regardless of quality. You might have heard the term vendor lock or technology lock. I'm looking for a methodology that combines development and operations. Now, this probably should be given DevOps. What popular open source messaging software was originally developed at LinkedIn? Kafka. And the process that eliminates need for developers to learn and operate infrastructure tools and processes. That's the platform engineering. So I'm going to talk about platform engineering with open source lens. So let's quickly jump into what is platform engineering. But before jumping into platform engineering, let's start with DevOps. Now, DevOps has been a de facto development methodology for over, I would say, 10, 15 years. And DevOps combines the development and the operations. They kind of unite those two. These two processes were kind of different, and they used to always fight together. Development was focused on agility, flexibility. Operations were on more reliability and security, and they were always kind of butting heads. But then we brought them together in DevOps. So with DevOps, we can enable a coordination and collaboration of different departments which were siloed, okay, like IT operations, quality engineering, security, networking, things like that. Now, this has been a highly successful methodology for quite some time, but few challenges and few cracks have emerged. So some of the challenges are the emergence of cloud. I think you might be surprised to say that, hey, somebody's complaining about cloud. Cloud has all the right things going on for it, like scalability, availability, operations, things like that. But yes, so cloud has solved several problems, but because it is so widely used and it has become complex now. So basically, the setup has become more complex. There are a lot more tools that are used, like Kubernetes and Terraform, Helm charts, and there are several deployment options, and each cloud provider offers their own version. So the setup has become complex. And traditionally in DevOps, the developers are expected to develop kind of an end-to-end, all the way from taking the idea, developing it, pushing it into production, all the way. And because of these tools and technologies that cloud offers now, there are many shadow operations. So there are many senior developers who say, hey, I will help you with Kubernetes. Don't worry about that. I will help you with Terraform. And these shadow OS operations have come up. So there was a need for kind of an internal developer platform, and that is what called platform engineering. So with that context of DevOps, so what is platform engineering? So it is nothing but an extension of DevOps. Okay, so we are not replacing DevOps. We are just extending DevOps. So what does platform engineering do? It eliminates the need for developers to learn and operate infrastructure tools and processes. And as I said, there are many tools, there are many processes, and every cloud has their own version. So it has become complex. So platform engineering provides self-service capability for DevOps. And it also provides something called as internal developer platform. And once that happens, the DevOps are abstracted from the complexity of the infrastructure, the complexity of the platform. Um, it improves developer experience. Obviously, it provides standard set of tools and services for a particular organization. I mean, there are hundreds of tools available, and if you let them use whatever they want, whatever each developer wants, and that has been one of the challenges with DevOps, that like 10 different people are using 10 different tools for doing the same thing. And platform engineering is kind of streamlining that. And the biggest thing that platform engineering provides is like thought leadership and kind of subject matter expertise, because uh, with everything done by the developers, there was no expert. And if there's an issue with a particular tool or a particular process, there was no one to kind of solve that. And that is what platform engineering is solving. So there are like four key areas. We'll talk about the internal development platform. It assists with infrastructure automation, integration of deploying using CI/CD, configuration and operations of tools, and central user access and control, the security. One thing that is not mentioned here, which is critical, is also the SMEs, the subject matter expert, who will provide assistance in all these four areas. Um, Now there are several diagrams and pictures available on the web. If you do a search for platform engineering, this is one kind of a generic thing that I like from Gartner.com. At the bottom, you have the infrastructure, and there is an infrastructure platform. So the platform abstracts you with all the complexities of the infrastructure. Then there is a digital platform where you have reusable components. There are tools. There are platform services. Again, they are abstracting you from litany of tools and processes. And then obviously there is a team that will help you. Okay, so we talked about platform engineering. Now let's see what is open source. Um, Now, open source, as you know, is 100% open source software with no licensing, no vendor lock, no technology lock. Um, it was started, meaning many people get surprised that it was started long time back in 1984 by Richard Stallman. 1994 was kind of a landmark year for open source when Linux 1.0 was released. In 1998, Netscape released its software, and the first time the term open source was used. By 2003, Linux operating system and Apache web server, they have become mainstream, and the progress has continued ever since. Um, and this particular diagram is for database technologies, but similar diagrams are available for other technologies. Here, as you can see, the open source popularity of open source software is increasing, while the proprietary or the commercial software is decreasing. Some of the advantages of open source. There are many advantages. I have grouped them in these 6 categories. So economies of scale, and that's kind of a no-brainer. There's no licensing cost. There's no vendor lock, no technology lock. Security. There was a time, maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when open source software was not considered very secure, and healthcare companies or financial companies shied away from it. But that's not the case now. Open source software is probably one of the most secure software in the market right now. Intellectual property. There are many foundations like Apache. They provide flexible licensing for you to use. Then scalability and reliability. As more people start using it, your software becomes more reliable. So many of the very popular software like Cassandra and Kafka are used by companies like LinkedIn and Netflix and Apple. And because all these large companies are using it for their production system, they become scalable and they become reliable. Supportive community. Obviously, behind every successful open source software, there are thriving, vibrant communities. Like for Apache Software Foundation, there are over 8,000 committers. Last but not the least is innovation. Um, this advantage is not widely talked about. Here, like if you want to make a change to a particular proprietary software, you need a feature, and if you talk to them, they are not going to add that feature immediately. Okay, they will talk to their customers, they will take their own sweet time, figure out the ROI, and maybe in 6 months or 1 year, or it may never happen. They will introduce that feature to you. But with open source, if you want a particular feature, you can start adding that feature yourself and get the community excited behind that. And again, within no time, you will have that feature. So basically, you control the future of your project, of your product, where you are going, and not dependent 100% on the proprietary software. So that's one of the advantages which is not widely talked about. Now let's bring them together, and I'm going to use the NetApp approach for that. So, with NetApp approach, what we provide you an internal development platform, okay, and to deploy and operate technologies, mostly database technologies like Cassandra, Postgres, Kafka, OpenSearch. So within like 5 minutes, you can deploy a 3-node Cassandra cluster, or a 2-node Postgres cluster, or a 6-node whatever Kafka cluster, and start using it. Okay, as soon as you deploy that cluster, by default, okay, right from the beginning, you will have monitoring and backup, and help with restoring, and help with upgrades, and expertise on what kind of patches and things like that. So as soon as you deploy, within 5 minutes, you can deploy these technologies, and as soon as those are deployed, the operations is also taken care of. So we provide this very reliable internal development platform, and I will talk about it a little bit later, in terms of some more details. Then we also provide help with several open source tools and data technologies that are needed for developing, like Kubernetes and Terraform, Ansible, Jenkins. And last but not the least, we provide expertise. Like my team is responsible for providing help with strategy, architecture, design, development, and kind of deployment of this platform and these other technologies. So basically, we are kind of the back end for AI. Okay, and NetApp, with the storage, is collaborating with NVIDIA, and kind of coming up with built-in performance using the NVIDIA chips. Similarly, we have these internal developer platform where we can help you with the middle database layer, which is critical for several AI systems. So, in short, InstaCluster at NetApp is your one-stop shop for open source platform engineering. So this is the platform that I talked about. Again, you can go to instacluster.com, and kind of use this. But in brief, you can see there are several technologies in the middle: Cassandra, Kafka, OpenSearch, Redis, Postgres, Zookeeper, Spark. And on the bottom, you have several cloud like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and on-prem. So within a click of few buttons, we can deploy Cassandra, Kafka, Redis, all these technologies on any of the platform of your choice, any of the cloud of your choice, whether it's AWS or Azure or Google Cloud or on-prem. So within no time, you'll have those databases up and running for you to start using. Some of the technology that we provide, database technologies mostly. So we provide both the NoSQL database like Cassandra, and SQL database like Postgres. We provide you processing tools like Spark, and we provide you a messaging streaming platform like Kafka. We provide you with in-memory storage databases like Redis, and obviously for search and analytics, you can use OpenSearch. Then we provide help with several tools, obviously GitHub, Kubernetes, Jenkins, Prometheus, Grafana, and we have expertise on all the three major cloud platforms. Last but not the least, as I said before, we provide you expertise and SME. So we have several consulting packages, like for health checks and performance reviews for these databases that we support. We have on-demand assistance. If you need a particular resource embedded in your team, we can help you with that. We can also provide you training, 3 to 5 day training for many of the technologies that I mentioned on the previous screens. Now, this is a short use case where we are using all these technologies to kind of process data and store data. So in this example, there is a data producer. It's a streaming data. We can capture that data using Kafka, analyze that data using Spark, act on it using a technology called Cadence. And also we can store that data, both SQL data in Postgres and NoSQL data in Cassandra. We can cache that data using Redis, and we can do search and analytics using OpenSearch. So it's a simple use case. Obviously, there are many permutations and combinations of this. So briefly, I think I've been talking about open source, and many of you who know NetApp from the past would know that, hey, what NetApp is a storage company. What do they have to do with open source technology and database technology? So um, in 2022, NetApp acquired InstaCluster, and InstaCluster has been it's a uh, it's an Australian-based company, and they have sorry, it's an Australian-based company. Sorry, I'm a little bit was distracted. There's a little commotion in my room. Sorry. So yeah, so InstaCluster is a 10-year-old, 11-year-old open source company was based in Australia, and NetApp wanted to extend its footprint beyond storage. Yeah, storage is great, but you cannot do much with storage if you don't have a database platform on top of that. And that became critical. And so basically, NetApp extended its footprint beyond storage with acquisition of InstaCluster. We have 11,000 nodes under management. We support technologies. I already mentioned about that. We work on all the 3 clouds and also on-prem. These are some of the. This is how we deliver. There are 3 services that we provide. We provide the platform that I already talked about. There are many companies that do not use our platform, cannot use our platform for legal reason or for security reasons. But they still need support. You might be using Cassandra or Kafka or Spark. You cannot use our platform because that's your corporate policy. But because these are open source technology and there is no phone number to call, we become that phone number with support. You can call us 24/7, and we can provide you the best in industry support for these technologies. Last but not the least is consulting, where we kind of provide full life cycle support all the way from idea, strategy, development, deployment, training, followed by support, or if they want to move to our platform. These are some of the customers, and there's a special promotion for everybody attending this session. So we are providing 2-hour open source platform engineering consulting services, plus 1 week of free access to our InstaCluster platform. As you saw, we can deploy 3-node, 5-node clusters in 3 to 5 minutes for Cassandra, Kafka, OpenSearch, Redis, all those technologies I mentioned. Just mention Angelbeat in June 2024 to get those promotions. And that's my presentation. This is my contact if anybody wants to contact me.